we all have a gift of something, and we're all here for a purpose. And when we find it, just do it. When we're always trying to find our purpose outwardly all the time and letting other people decide our purpose or decide our value, I feel like that's really damaging. You can be so much happier if you just settle into who you are, and you find that by spending time with yourself. The more you create, the more ideas you have. The well of creativity never dries up. It only expands. So as you go down, there's more, and there's more, and there's more. And when you think that's it, you go over here, and you turn your head, and it's, oh my God. There's room for everyone to be successful. Our what ifs are killing us. Our what ifs are preventing and stopping us. What if? That's where it comes into confidence. That's where you come into trusting yourself, finding your purpose, trusting your gut. I think that's the question we need to ask ourselves and dig deep and unpack that. What is that all about? What is it about not finding your purpose? Because I don't really think it's that hard. The universe presents itself in a gentle, quiet, respectful way that if we're in tune and just listening and paying attention, it's right there. It's right there. And follow your gut. We ignore that all the time. And every now and then when you do listen to it, or you think, okay, I made this decision and I feel like I knew the answer all along. And we don't trust ourselves very much. And so it's learning to trust yourself and the gut feeling. At 5, you don't really understand it, but I remember feeling something interesting and felt like I was special or something. So fast forward to, I quit my job one summer after caning for 5 years and doing art part-time. I never had to look back. I kept going with art, and I was that much more, my time was more available to 100% go for it. I would say probably for 10 years, I made like $7,000 a year, and I was thrilled.
Hi, I'm Vijayan Swaminathan. I'm the founder and CEO of Zadwell. At Zadwell, we help our clients transform into the digital space. We help from the web technologies to blockchain to Internet of Things and a wide range of services. Over the years, I can see the impact of technology that can have on business of all sizes. But I've also seen a gap in the market, a lack of quality support and outstanding technology solutions that truly meet the needs of the client. And that's where we come in. And ever since 2018, we started Zadwell. We've been helping more clients to digitally transform their business. We want to provide that personalized and dedicated support and care for our clients. And through this process, we want to see our clients thrive through the digital transformation process. At Zadwell, we have worked with a wide range of clients, from small businesses to startups to large enterprises and public sector companies. We have the experience and expertise to help you with your goals and an ever-changing technology landscape. So if you're looking for a technology partner who truly cares about your success, here we are. It's been an incredible journey so far, and I'm so excited to see where we'll go next. Let's get to work. everyone, guess we are live now. Hey everyone, welcome to Pathfinders podcast. Today we have an amazing guest, Giselle Denis. Giselle, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Pathfinders. Please allow me to introduce you properly. I like to do that for every guest, so that's the most nervous part. So let me get over your introduction. Today's
Sure.
guest paints more than pictures. She paints presence, purpose, and possibility. Joining us is Giselle Denis, an internationally acclaimed artist and live performance painter whose vibrant works have graced stages from the Raffles Hotel in Dubai to the Canadian Embassy and the Special Olympics in Abu Dhabi. Known for transforming blank canvases into soul stirring masterpieces in real time, Giselle creates not just art, but experiences. She's the visionary behind monumental public works like the Mother Nature, a 40 by 26-foot mural in the heart of Edmonton, a record-setting live art auction that raised $50,000 with a single painting. In total, she raised over $872,000 for a charity and a bold mission to reach $1 million, all through the power of her brush. Her talent and her heart have earned her the Queen Elizabeth II Platinum Jubilee Medal, Alberta Award for Excellence in Arts. But beyond all the accolades, Giselle lives and paints from a place of fierce joy, deep intuition, and soulful generosity. She's a mother, a musician, a lover of nature, and a creative force who reminds us that art is not just something we look at, it's something we feel. Welcome to the show, Giselle. I truly enjoyed learning about you. I would like to know more about you from your own words, please.
Oh, fabulous. Well, thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure to share the story. I don't know where to start, but you can maybe interject if I'm going too long or start too far back. But I grew up in an artist's home. So my mom, Giselle Denis, she painted my whole life growing up. So I was surrounded by creativity my whole life. She really encouraged me to just explore. Both my folks did. So I had kind of a good when it comes to searching for who I am and what I am. And I guess there's you can grow up in it and not even be good at it at all, or you grow up in it and you almost absorb everything and it gets into the fibers of your being. And I think that's what happened to me. I don't even know if I probably would have still been an artist if my mom wasn't. I just feel like that's just who I am. They say your work isn't what you do, but I kind of feel like in my case, it is who I am. I'm an artist. That's who I am. So growing up in an environment like that from a kid, every kid's an artist, right? And when we get to be adults, we learn fear. We learn what's acceptable to have as a job and a career. And so for me, I feel like I was fortunate to have an environment and parents who didn't talk like that to me. They encouraged me. My dad would always say, find what would you say? I'm trying to think of the word. Something you could do with your hands, a marketable skill. This is what he called it. Find a marketable skill with the painting and everything in the drawing. So drawing is more what was my forte as I was approaching junior high and high school. And my mom's customers would notice my skill in the drawing part of the world. And they would commission me to do their grandmother, their child, their dog, their baby. So I was doing these portraits. From the time I was 14, people were hiring me already to do portraits. Goodness, the first time someone gave me money for something that I was doing with my hands that I loved, back living at home at the kitchen table or using my mom's art studio, I think I was ruined to be an entrepreneur right from the beginning.
Right.
I just really enjoyed doing that, and I got quicker and better at it. And then when I studied music in college from the time I was pretty young. I could play music by ear. Like I could hear a melody of a song and sit down and just play. Now, neither one of my folks are musicians or play any instrument. And so I feel like I could sing in tune, I could sing it back to you, I could play it back to you. And then I was about 14, my folks gave me piano lessons and I learned how to incorporate the left hand. And so I could play like a chord and play melody with the right, chords with the left. So really, I've exercised my creative brain my whole life. And I feel like I never really fell out of it, where a lot of us, as we become older and adults and learn like, oh, you can't be an artist. I think you have to find a real job. Some people would say you're doomed because you're the person who is all creativity and you can't earn a living that way. But for me, I didn't really worry about that. Like I didn't know what I was going to do. It's kind of like, it just kind of rolled as I unfolded and grew and found out who I was.
Right.
By the time I was like mostly unfolded, if I could say that in that way, I was able to just continue doing what I love. I did have odd jobs throughout college and stuff and growing up, but I never really found anything that stuck. I didn't know, but I just kept going with it. After college, about a year and a half later, I met my husband around that time, well, before college. And when we got married, I kind of started to think more about, well, what am I going to do to earn some income around here to pull my weight? But I was selling my art still, but I kind of thought, well, maybe I'll just keep doing this and see how it goes. And so I had a part-time job I was hoping it was going to be for 1 year. I'll set my own hours. I'm going to house clean. I make great money. House cleaners make a lot of money, I tell you. Anyway, sidebar. So I did well with that, and I would just clean in the morning, and then in the afternoon I would paint. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5 years went by, and I thought, well, nobody's going to take a risk on this except for me, so I'm going to have to maybe try this and figure it out. So I thought, if I can replace my house cleaning income with art income, because I was busy with events and I was pretty good from the beginning, from the time I was like 15, 16, just putting myself out there to any kind of event that was going on in Edmonton or Calgary or wherever. I would just sign up and I would meet people and talk about my art, and people would buy it. And I found a way. People, when they invest in art, I feel like they're investing in more than just the painting, but the artist, their story, the energy they put out there. And so, and their connection to the painting is even greater when they can meet artists. So I could keep going, but there's a lot there.
Yeah. No, I love it. So when was the first, how old were you when you sold your first art piece?
I feel like I was around 14, maybe $100. Someone gave me to do a portrait, and then they would get bigger for size, and here's $300, here's $800. Like, people were giving me, like I was working for, I was making their art piece. So that was such a feeling for me. And that rewind, when I was 5 years old, my mom entered my Halloween drawing into the Edmonton Journal comic, back when we had the Edmonton Journal. She entered my painting, and I won $25 when I was 5 years old for that contest. And I had to go, I think it was the Edmonton Public Library. I had to go down there, and I received this certificate and the money, and there's pictures. And so I was exposed to this media moment, which was super cool. I remember that. And the feeling of, oh, people saw value in what I was doing. And at 5, you don't really understand it, but I remember feeling something interesting and felt like I was special or something. So fast forward to, I quit my job one summer after cleaning for 5 years and doing art part-time. And I told all my clients, if it doesn't go well, I'm going to come back. And they're like, you're not coming back. So I did. I tried it for 3 or 4 months. I never had to look back. I kept going with art, and I was that much more, my time was more available to 100% go for it. I would say probably for 10 years, I made like $7,000 a year, and I was thrilled.
There you go.
I loved it. I was like, look at me. I'm like making some money and doing what I love. And, but it did build and build and build. So I've been doing this. We'll be married 23 years in a couple weeks. It's been a lot of hard work and really enjoyable work, and your network just grows. Like, what was it now? How many years ago did Facebook come out? All social media, maybe 15 years or something like that. So that changed everything. Of course, your audience just blows up to the whole world, and then it's your oyster. Like, if you want, you can,
right,
get out there even more. So, I mean, there's a whole bunch of stories there, but I found they talk about, Malcolm Gladwell has a book, and he talks about how Steve Jobs and Bill Gates and all these guys in and around the same age at the right, perfect, exact moment in time when they were like just introducing computers and a personal computer to the world, and how like they just found that sweet spot, their age, their brains, how they work, how they introduce this technology to the world when we needed it most. All the stars aligned, and like they're one of the most recognizable names in the world. So what was my point in that? I think I found some sweet spot myself with when I started doing, showing my art at the farmers market, and they say like, oh, it was by chance, and like, but also like I put myself in those places to meet people on purpose, and so really cool opportunities came up from literally showing my art at the farmers market next to the guy selling carrots. I've got my art booth set up, like doesn't make any sense, but people were there.
Yeah.
So like Art Walk on White Avenue, people are there. It's 3 days outside. There's 40,000 people that walk through every day. Same with the downtown farmers market, 40,000, 50,000 people in a day go where people are. So I learned that really quick, that there's value in, even at a farmer's market, just pop your work out there. It's a lot of work. You got to get up at 6. You're down there by 7. You are setting up till 9. You're there till 3 in the hot sun, but you're meeting people. And so this has been the most valuable thing I've learned is there's power in knowing everyone. And I tell my 15-year-old son that there's power in knowing everyone. Don't hide behind your mama's leg when people come over. Like, talk for yourself, answer the question. And so I was able to, you just kind of get used to answering the questions, showing your work, being vulnerable, but also like if people don't like it, that's okay. And I guess a lot of people are afraid for artwork. Like, I made this. This is a vulnerable thing I've created. Now the world sees it. It's like part of my insides on canvas. And so I just got used to, most of the comments were really positive, and whichever ones were attacks, you just kind of, that's a human thing to do, right? Like, some people are going to do that, and that's not about me. It's about them, and whatever. I don't like, people comment all the time, like, how do you do that? Where do you get that no fear from? And I'm like, well, it's not like I don't have fear. Like, I mean, every human being, whoever says like, I have no fear, I think that's crap. I don't think that's actually
that's not true. That's not true.
I feel like we do it anyway, or you find a way to just like go around it or through it or over it or whatever, under it. You just find ways to overcome fear. And I think that's with any kind of work, really. And
100%.
Someone said, I saw a video the other day, we're all faking it. And I mean, are we, or are we just finding our way? Like, we're all finding our way, and we all start from nothing. We all start. We all have a beginning. And so, when I go into a big, huge event and everybody there is important and has the status of something that is intimidating or could be intimidating, I go for live painting. I show up there and I'm on a stage and I've got a spotlight on me and they give me the microphone to talk about my art. And I just tell myself, first of all, it's not about me. This is about what this painting will do tonight. So whether it's raising money, whether it's a retirement gift for somebody, whatever the reason is I'm there painting, I'm there for a purpose, but it's not about me. Like, even though people are looking at me, and also they invited me. So there must be a reason, and they must see value in what I'm doing and who I am or whatever. If I just show up with that in my brain, instead of like, I get a little nervous. I'm not a psychopath, but you kind of do have to go through that fear and realize, we all have a gift of something, and we're all here for a purpose. And when you find it, just do it. Some people, it looks like building towers and skyscrapers, and, other people it's building dams, other people it's building paintings and or building connections or whatever. As you can tell, I can talk a lot.
No, I love it. I'm just like, oh yeah, okay, fine. Let's turn off them. I'm gonna. Turn
my mic off.
I just want to. It's a story that fascinates me. It's beyond the story. I mean, you're a real person. You're putting out work we have today. I've seen your post on LinkedIn, Giselle, like you just like turn off the camera, you start painting and start drawing, right? I mean, like I've seen it so many times, like, and I can instantly tell like you're super passionate about your craft. That's I feel that every single time I interact with you, I see your post. So yeah, it's I'm glad you found your purpose in terms of like at such a young age, right? Talk to me about like finding your purpose. Maybe I think people would want to listen to how you found that and when you realized that, oh yeah, this is my purpose. Like, can you speak to that, Michelle?
Sure. I mean, I guess back to, when I was a kid, I was surrounded by real positive people who believed in, finding who you are and discovering who that is and being like, I don't know, a good person in this world. But like, life's too short I think, I think more people would have an easier time finding their purpose if they just addressed the fear thing a little more and just went, okay, so why can't I find my purpose? I think that's the question we need to ask ourselves and dig deep and unpack that. What is that all about? What is it about not finding a purpose? Because I don't really think it's that hard. I think the universe presents itself in a gentle, quiet, respectful way that if we're in tune and just listening and paying attention, it's right there. It's right there. And follow your gut. We ignore that all the time. And every now and then when you do listen to it, or you think, okay, I made this decision and I feel like I knew the answer all along. And we don't trust ourselves very much. And so it's learning to trust yourself and the gut feeling. I was talking to my sister-in-law the other day, and she's a teacher. And she was saying, I'm not sure what to do. She was stressing out about starting the year off with her classroom. And she said, I could go this way, but if I go this way and be gentle with the kids, they might walk all over me and it could be a nightmare the rest of the year. But if I lay down the law, they might not like me. Maybe they'll respect me. They'll behave better, but I also want to be their friend and teach them a lot. She's back and forth. And I didn't know what to tell her. All I said to her was, what does your gut tell you to do? And she knew it right. She instantly, she didn't have to think about it. She went back to, well, this is this. I said, you didn't even have to think about it. You knew exactly what to do all along. Your gut told you. So I feel like that's how we find our purpose is even if it doesn't make sense. Even if it doesn't make sense, like, well, if I followed my gut, then, all these excuses of why we don't. But when you do, I feel like things just fall into alignment and they work out better. I feel. You feel it when you know something is wrong, when you know something's not right, when you know you're feeling uneasy, on edge, like you have a feeling, and I'm not saying to live your life by feelings and all that, but I'm an artist, so that's something to tell you. But it's something that little still small voice inside of us is what we don't typically listen to. And I think I've accessed that enough to know, we all know what that voice sounds like. And so trying to listen to it more.
Got it. When you're creating art after art, craft after craft, canvas after canvas, what keeps you going? Like what keeps you going week after? Of course, you're so passionate. I know you found your purpose really young. So what keeps you going otherwise? Like, okay, I don't know, you would have created 1 million art pieces by now, I'm sure. So what keeps you going month after month?
Well, when I paint every day,
One less than 1 million.
Yeah. I'd say I paint on average like a painting a day. So like, let's say that works out to
365 days.
365 days, paintings a year. Multiply that by 23 years. I don't know if that works out too, but
so you have created 365 an art piece a day for the last 23 years?
For the most part, like there's a few years there, like the year my son was born, production was much lower. And
let's say 300.
Some years are like greater and some are less, so it fluctuates. So I would guess that I've painted about 7,500 paintings in the last 23 years, something like that. I haven't, I've got it written down somewhere, but I haven't looked at it.
Wow.
So
no kidding.
What keeps me going is, practically I've got art shows booked. So I need new paintings. Every time I have an open house here at the gallery, I do 2 to 3 big ones a year. And so every time I've got a new show, I want to turn it over and have new stuff. Okay. So there's, a lot of places to put art here. And so there's that, the practical side. The other side of it is, when you get up every day and you just feel like you have to, and not in a bad way, but you must. I must paint. I must create. So if I have a break and let's say there's a week that goes by and I don't get any painting time, it doesn't happen very often, but even on a holiday, like, okay, I'm on holiday, the pressure builds like a pressure cooker in me. And
If you're not painting.
yes,
Yeah.
if I'm not creating something, if I'm not
Right.
creating, even if
Right.
it's like, I love my holidays and they're great,
Right.
but
Right.
after a bit, like near the end, the pressure is I'm gonna
I totally
explode.
hear you.
Like I need, right? You need to
Yeah.
create somehow, whether it's even cooking in the
The
kitchen.
guilt of not creating.
Yeah. It's like, it builds and I kind of get irritable and I need to just work it out. I work out life on my canvas. And so, like everyone, I've gone through really hard things. I lost my dad. This will be 2 years in October, and he had stage 4 head and neck cancer. It was horrible. And so for like the last 5 years, 6 years, definitely, if I didn't have painting and music, I'd be in rough shape. But I've used it for my mental health. I've used it to work out life. I've used it where I can't think anymore about this state my dad's in. I can't think about it. I need to get my mind off it. I need to paint. I need to go for a walk. I need to be in the kitchen. I need to do something. I need to write a song. For me, music and art are the two things that keep me alive. And I'm a happy person, but I have a lot of pain, emotional pain from life. Like I think most people do, right? We all have hard things that we've gone through. And so, using this as a tool to go through it has helped me greatly.
Got it. Got it. But, I mean, like you've lived. What is the best way to say it? I mean, you've lived. You've gone through. You're a mother now. You have your family now. You have spent life just enough to understand society, humanity, connecting with people, networking, business, performing live, and so many other things. Like, where do you see the humanity suffering in general? Because there are three things I really care about. Is like I put humanity as one of the pillars because like I love connecting with people. Beyond that, beyond hearing to their stories, what's happening, I think there's an opportunity to learn from the other person. Maybe that's the reason I'm even in speaking to more people around the world, because I started connecting with people initially, Giselle at Edmonton with the Chamber of Commerce and everything. I somewhere felt I should be talking to more people. And of course, the Kelly Kennedy is there. He does amazing with the business development podcast. So he also definitely inspired me to, hey, we should probably talk on the podcast. And he did inspire me. But the more people I talk to, they all kind of seem to want the same thing. They look different, speak different, probably eat different foods, but they all want a safe place to live, their safety nets, a good family, and probably warm meal by end of the day, right? That's what I'm listening and hearing, whether it's Chinese speaking or like a Latin or anything, but but people do struggle. Where do you see that pain coming from, actually, from humanity, from your observation?
I feel like there's a lack of love for ourselves, lack of love, I feel. So one of my I called my painting, Everybody Wants to Be Loved. And so I feel like that could be, because if you don't have love for yourself, then you project and you aren't a nice person and you treat people badly. And so I feel like that might be one thing. I think purpose is a big one too. Like if you don't feel like you have purpose, like you don't want to live. You don't have a feeling of living. If you don't love yourself, you don't want to live. You don't want to be around people. You want to hide. You seclude yourself. I think, and when we're always trying to find our purpose outwardly all the time and letting other people decide our purpose or decide our value, I feel like that's really damaging. Insecurity, I would say, is a big problem. I forget what your initial question was and if I'm answering it right, but I feel like
No, you're
I hear
absolutely right.
I feel like I hear insecurity more than anything, to be honest.
Hmm.
That probably is the word that would describe, well, I don't feel love. I don't feel like I have purpose. Whatever. I feel like in a sense, social media has been amazing and also one of the greatest downfalls of humanity because we're connected. It's great. Good. Let's stay connected. You can reach out to anybody in the world. But when all of your time and your value and your purpose is placed on like, well, how many likes did I get? How many views on my video? Nobody commented. I put a new outfit out there. People aren't, when we care so much about what other people think, it's so damaging. Like someone told me this, or I read this somewhere. It's none of our business what other people think of us. It's none of my business who thinks about what people think about me. It's none of my business. Why would it be any of my business?
No, it's not.
Good or bad, it's none of my business.
Right.
And if I was the only person on this planet, I should be able to be happy and fulfilled and feel like I have purpose. And so as I've gotten older, I've cared less. I'm not saying I don't care. I care less. I fear less. And I'm happy to not be so involved. I'm involved, but I'm not. I don't find my value in other people. I don't find my value in even how many paintings I make. Or, how many paintings I sell. That's not my value. I don't even know how to say what my value is, but I feel like you can be so much happier if you just settle into who you are. And you find that by spending time with yourself. Like if you can never be alone, I think that's a little red flag. If you could never spend a weekend by yourself or go shopping or be with that one person that's significant in your life, if you can't ever be away from them, that's a little concerning.
Right.
Because like I love my family, I love my husband, I love my son. But there's death. Death is part of life. And I love my dad and I lost my dad. And am I okay? Yeah, I'm okay. It was really hard, but I'm okay. And I know I believe in the afterlife. I know I'll see him again one day. So when I go for walks, I talk to myself and I'll say like, I talk to God, talk to the universe, whatever word you want to use. I use the word God, and I'll say like, I love my family, but I'll be okay. If something, I don't want anything to ever happen, but I'm okay. Please help me to be okay. One day if my husband dies before me when I'm 85, will I be okay? Yes, I'm going to be okay. I want to be okay. And if my son makes wrong decisions, in life, I'll be okay. He'll be okay.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Yeah. No. Yeah. You made me think a lot. Yeah. I mean, you're speaking out of lived experiences and you've appreciated life, and at the same time, you're also appreciating facts. Okay, this is what it is. I don't think people need to care what other people think about. Absolutely. And yeah, my brother, he's from a different world. He lives in India. He's a photographer. He spends he spends a lot of time around the art community. He creates pictures and he wants to be a movie director, film director. That's what he wants to be. Mm-hmm. He has done a lot of things, won a lot of accolades and awards, and every time he puts out content, and I can see a lot of that when you put out your artwork. I kind of because I'm not an artist. I used to draw as a child, but like you mentioned, the societal fear kicked in. No, you got to do well in your studies. No, you got to find a job. No, you got to do well. I did all of that and found myself to be super unhappy, to be honest. Right? Because I did everything the society asked me to do, and I found myself to be unhappy. Right? So that's when I started to dig deeper and nope, I'm going to stop listening to society and I'm going to start listening to me. And that's when I at least started to oh, maybe there's happiness in listening to yourselves. Right? Mm-hmm. I started at least realizing that, and speaking to more and more people, kind of I'm doubling down on understanding, listening to your gut, and absolutely whatnot. So the reason, where did I wanted to go? So the reason I brought my brother is how do you explain the creative craft or the art to anyone who's not in that field? Not everyone is an artist. Not everyone is in the creative space. How do you explain the creative craft to others in society? Not everyone seems to understand, because the reason I ask is because when I see my brother, when I see you, I see a sense of fulfillment in what you do with your craft, right? I've been in tall glass buildings and hated it, right? Right. So not many would say it. I speak to it. That's it. How do you speak to others who are not pursuing craft, like pursuing art, who's not in the art world, if you will?
Well, I would say I approach it like anyone I think, going to any job. This is my job. Because when people say, you paint every day? And I'm like, yeah, do you go to your job every day? Of course I paint every day. Like you get up, you have a routine, and I don't drive to work. I get up and I walk down the hall to my studio and I work. I work in the office for a while, I paint for a while, and I worked out my work day. And I run a business. Like I have the business of I sell my art, so people come to me, and so I have a whole side of running a business. And people do find it, I guess, fascinating. If like I run a art business, it's not like I'm just selling, you know. Yeah, I approach it as anyone would with any career. I approach it seriously. I took myself seriously. And one of the things too, I was going to mention, I don't know if this is along the same answer, but when I don't, like with your brother with approaching his film producing, whether he gets into like big time Hollywood and like making millions of dollars and this big producer, and maybe he is, but if he's not, the goal isn't for me isn't necessarily to be, I don't need to make a masterpiece. Like I go every time I approach the ego, I go to do as best of a job as I can. That's my goal. Make a great painting. Some of them are better than others. People call them masterpieces. I don't. I don't put that pressure on myself. I want to make, I want to make great art. And so to take the pressure off of myself and not be like, I have to be the best, the most famous, the blah, blah, blah. I have to be, no, I don't care about any of the prizes, awards, all that. I don't care about any of that. Like I've received a couple of things and I'm grateful, but I don't live for that at all.
When did you come to the maturity to stop caring? I think maybe that is something a question to ponder,
I don't know.
because that's a big one.
Yeah, I mean, I think the experience of um, maybe the live painting part helped me not care because especially so I get if I most of my you know comments are positive. The place I get attacked the most is social media. And of course, that's what people do. And maybe that helped me realize like there's a lot of hurting people out there. There's a lot of hurting people out there, and I can't control any of that. And so I can only control me and how I react. And I'm not going to let anybody I don't know this person. I've never met them before. And even if I did, I'm not going to let them ruin my day or my week or my month. Um, because my brain can decide, well, how much time am I going to invest in worrying about what this random person just said? That's so stupid. And I'll look inward and be like, is that true about me? Like if they attack me as a person and I'm like, I don't think that's true. Like I don't feel like I'm who they say they think I am or whatever. Maybe I'm getting off track with my answer, but
No.
as I've obviously age helps us to care less. They say ladies in their 50s, that's when you don't care. I mean, I'm not 50, but but when you just life experience, you can tell a 15-year-old don't care with me, but we should tell 15-year-olds don't care what people think of you, and continually remind them, don't let people tell you, don't listen to people what they think about you. It's none of your business what people think about you.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, I think I've had people around my life who have, my husband's really positive in that way of, if I'm upset from something that someone said, he'll be like, that's crap. Don't listen to that. That's not you. They're just distracting you. They're just trying to throw you off your game. Don't listen to them. And for social media, I do have to, I also honestly engage to my audience. So I make sure that I respond to all the comments, and if they're really mean, I just block and delete. Maybe I'm feeling spicy that day and I give them a spicy answer back. But if they were standing in front of me, I'd have a response. My husband's just like, just ignore them. And I'm like, well, but if they were standing in front of me, I'm not going to let people walk all over me. I might have a
That's
spicy
right.
answer if someone's rude. And I've had spicy answers. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not
No.
out there to hate. I'm out there to love, and if someone doesn't like that, that's fine.
Yeah, this is what I felt like looking at so many things in social media. I think hate or any of that and do a division of people, it's somehow, somewhere is funding it to, yeah, I don't know. I have felt it actually really seriously. I mean, like, not hate for about a person, but like most of the time it comes against an ideology, or, oh, you're left or you're right or something. Every time there's hate, I found it to be funded by someone else with an agenda. But every time when people come together, it happens naturally. It's organic. It's filled with love and like well-intended people coming together. So I'm learning to pay no attention to hate, because I know the intention behind it is not good.
No.
That's how I feel. But anyway, I want to segue into a different topic of yours in terms of live performances that you do. What's it like painting live in front of an audience? I mean, painting in your studio. Of course, we'd love to look through your studio in a bit. But how is it painting in front of like an audience, like hundreds and thousands of people? How do you prepare for that? What's that experience like? I've never painted anything. I've never written anything in front of thousands of people, let alone painting it. So.
Right. Okay, back to the farmer's market. I had a booth, and at some point I'm like, this is kind of boring. Maybe I'll bring a canvas and I'll work while I'm standing here all day.
Right.
I might as well get some work done.
Right.
And one day I was doing that, and this lady comes and taps me on the shoulder, and she's like, and I turn around and there's a whole crowd of people gathered, just standing there watching me paint. And I thought that was pretty cool, actually. I wasn't nervous. I was just minding my own business, and they were watching what I was doing. And I started to see like the reaction and the response to that. And it gave them a little more of the experience of watching the creation of a painting that's normally an intimate thing that's done in an art studio. Not many artists would want people to watch them paint. I don't mind it. I don't mind sharing that. Not every day. I don't want to do that every day, but even if I'm home and I'm like, I feel like I want to go live on Facebook, then I'll just pop my camera on and do a little demonstration and connect to people all over the world, and they're watching me and asking me questions. And, at times I guess I could feel nervous, like if I'm painting at a wedding, those are stressful. Or, the timing of the event is very like, you've got to do everything at the exact moment they want. And that can be stressful, but the painting part is actually the part when I'm in it and I'm starting and I'm making the painting, the nerves all go away. I don't feel nervous. I'm in my zone. I'm in my creative brain making this painting for the purpose of the night and make this a great painting. And people will come and talk to me while I'm working, which it's a little distracting, but I'm there to connect with people. And so when I was doing live painting at the Raffles Hotel in Dubai, that was the furthest place I've ever gone. I was nervous to go there because I'd never been overseas like that before. And bringing my painting, I thought, what are people going to think about this? Like, I'm not painting scenes in Dubai. I'm painting Giselle paintings in Dubai. So I'd bring my scenes like a musician would travel the world and sing his song set everywhere she goes. That's how I approached it. I'm going to make my art over here and over here and over here. And the response was amazing. Like, people, it feels really good to connect with people and hear, tell me about you, and they'll tell me why this painting is speaking to them right now and how they have to have it, or they'll just open up and share. And it's that one level deeper of understanding the painting. And people will say, I didn't know that's how you did that. And I said, well, this is my approach. This is how I make art. And so it feels really fulfilling to share the creative process with people who are wanting to watch.
A few years ago, I took a test somewhere online, like, okay, check your brain or something. And like, it's like, I don't know, it was the COVID era, probably sitting at home and didn't know what to do. I clicked a link and it said like, you probably have like a 50% of your mind is like analytical and the other 50% is creative. That's what it said. For a different person, it said, 70% creative and 30 analytical, whatever, right? So I found it to be interesting. I shared that with my brother. Hey, see, I looks like I have some creative brain in my. I mean, like he doesn't brag, but at the same time, I like to poke him. But that's what siblings do, right? So
definitely.
I just shared that. But like, I mean, I just wanted to ask you, like, explain the creative brain, just like, what is it like? Because like, I know you've spent more time with that, cherishing it. Because every time I listen to a music or look at a beautiful art, like that kind of, I don't know how to explain it. I think there's calmness to it. There's silence. I see calmness in you when you're speaking, and I see the depth when you're speaking. And I don't know, maybe it has something to do with your creative brain, and maybe I'm, at least more for me personally, not appreciating the creative side of the process, because every time I try to create something, whether it's a software or anything using my brain, it kind of like, it's so fascinating. I would love to keep doing it, but I have to stop because of the kind of like the societal role, quote unquote, I took in, right? So whatever. So someone thought being a software developer is a great idea, and like I ended up doing it for a long time. But now I'm trying to leverage into the creative aspect of it, so that like, how can we create beautiful websites for people so that they can use, right? And it's like painting an art. I'm trying to like use my creative brain to create better websites and things for people. So I don't know, I'd love to know from you, like, what is that creative brain, what does that do to you, and how does it help you keep evolving, if you will? Because I think it helps in a way. That's my feeling.
So, okay, first thing, the more you create, the more ideas you have.
Love it.
The well of creativity never dries up. It only expands. So as you go down, there's more and there's more and there's more. And when you think that's it, you go over here and you turn your head and it's, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Wow.
There's room for everyone to
That infinity.
expand. There's room for everyone to be successful. Just because there's already so many people doing this with their software and their website. There's already so many. So what? There's only one BJ. There's only one Giselle. And you own your brain. And you have the access to your own brain, which we only use, whether they say 11% or 4%, I guess depends on how dummy we are, is no limit to you creative. Everybody has access to the creative side. Everybody has a creative brain. The right brain, the other side of the brain. I forget which side is the right brain. Right brain is the creative. Everyone has that part of your brain. So it's a muscle that you access and you exercise and you get out of it what you put into it. So if you access your creative side every 6 months, that you really dive into every 6 months, you're like, I'm doing great. I did it once this year. I've jumped right in. I've worked out once this year. Look at I don't have big muscles. You have to do it often. You have to go into the well. You have to get wet. And better yet, you can stay wet and deep in the water all the time. You never have to leave. But we jump out of it because, but what if I get too cold? What if I get too wet? What if I drown? What if? But our what ifs are killing us. Our what ifs are preventing and stopping
100%.
us. The what if. That's where it comes into confidence. That's where you come into like trusting yourself, finding your purpose, trusting your gut. So creativity, the more you create, the more ideas you have. This book is written for artists, but I highly recommend it to anyone who's interested in accessing more of the creative side. It's called The Artist's Way.
The Artist's Way. By
Julia Cameron. And I highly recommend it to anyone. It was written probably 30 years ago. And
Julia
that's one of the
who?
best.
Who's the author, sorry?
I believe it's Julia or Julie Cameron.
Got it. I'll plug it in our show, yeah.
And it changed my life. It did. It changed my life. So when you are accessing your creative brain, it doesn't only slide into just when you're working on a website. It slides into how you parent, what your relationship is with your partner, how you cook, how you approach your friendships, how do you approach your vacations. It isn't just the work, the one thing that you are looking at. It's not just that. It flows out into everything else. It has to. It absolutely has to, and it just naturally does.
Right.
Does that answer?
No, it does. It does. Like, and I mean, you've told yourself not to use the word masterpiece, but every answer is kind of a masterpiece. So don't get me wrong. All the beautiful answers. But beautiful. Yeah. So the
It's
goal is to get
time. It's time spent.
just stay in the well. Stay in the
Stay
well.
in the well. I mean, it's always there and it's always
Right.
filling up. And you can
Right.
always take from it and you can never take all of it because it's always just going to keep filling up. And it's going to be like, oh yeah, you think you got all the ideas? You think you thought of everything? No, you haven't. Universe, right? Universe talking to us. No, it's, they say that the actual universe, right? Just like the galaxy we live in, Earth, is just like, our minds can't understand how big the actual universe is. And so in a sense, like that's how you can look at creativity. There's no limit, there's no end. It's always going to be there. It goes on forever. And when we start to realize like we aren't as limited as we think we are, we'll never tap into, we'll never fully experience what the creator meant for us to be on earth. We'll never fully become that 100%. It's impossible. Maybe that's what eternity will look like, or the beings we turn into. I know this is getting weird, but
No,
but
it's all right.
in the sense of, yeah, trusting your gut. It really comes back down to that. Trusting that you have access to the most amazing ideas out
Right.
there.
Yeah. One other thing I want to ask is like in terms of like nature, right? I mean, human beings are also part of like nature. I think they often seem to forget it. I know we are not going to live in an ant colony, but at the same time, appreciating humanity, yes, of course. But we are still part of the nature, the mountains, the lakes, and the waters and mountains always kind of gets me every single time. Every single time I go spend some time at the lake or the river or the mountain, it gets me. So I think there's a draw, and all the woods, right? If I take a walk in the trail, so it gets me every single time. I think there's a natural connect because humans are nature also, and I see that you reflect that in your art every single time. At least the few art pieces that I've seen that you have do a lot of nature based arts. So how do you see nature and humanity playing a role in this, what we call as like life in this universe for a short period of time?
So what I like to do is connect, like help people connect to a painting. So like the title that I give it, it helps them connect even more.
Mm.
And I'll look at a photograph and then I'll make my version of the photo. And the name that I'm giving it, I feel like nature is this universal language that everyone can see and understand. And so I like to recreate that in my own way, the way I put it on canvas. I'm not sure how to answer your question.
Yeah, I mean, because I'll ask the question a different way because
Sure. Okay.
I seem to see a disconnect between humanity and nature. The more disconnected they are, the more unhappy they are in a way. I mean,
Yeah.
oh, I have 2 weeks of a long weekend or like maybe an extra day of vacation. Where are you going for the long weekend? I'm going to the mountains, to the bands and the jaspers and whatnot, right? So they run to the nature, but but they cannot live there for some reason. The disconnect creates unhappiness, but humanity is trying to appreciate it, but doesn't appreciate it enough.
Yeah. I agree.
And then of course, and you in your artwork, you bring nature time and time again, I suppose,
Hmm.
from what I've seen. So I'm just trying to understand, like, what's your perspective of like the relationship between nature and humanity? Yeah, maybe that's the question.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I paint. That's why I paint
Mm.
nature because I feel like so many people have, this connection to it, but they're like, how do I have a piece of it that I can see and look at? And maybe they live downtown and they're just surrounded by concrete and buildings and stuff, but they visit the mountains, they visit all these places. And so in a sense, I'm an administrator of that. I make these paintings that remind them of that is what that reminds me of. That image that you painted reminds me of this happy memory, the smells of the place we go, the memory from I went as a kid. Like, so I like, it is a reunion, I guess, for people with the places that they connect to. And I help them have that in a painting. And I love to hear the stories that they'll tell me. And I really feel like, in a sense, I've kind of found that niche, I guess, where I paint nature anyway. It's not like someone told me, if you painted nature, then people would buy your art. It's not that. It's more, that's just me. I grew up in the country. I grew up connected to nature. I live in the country now. I'm surrounded by trees and water and grass and flowers, and I encourage people too. So if I have a one-on-one chat with them like we are now, I like to tell people, like, when they say, what inspires you? And I say, well, I spend time outside nearly every day and disconnect from the world and just listen to the birds and feel the wind and feel the sun and pay attention to the northern lights, pay attention to this beautiful world we have. Get outside as much as you can in the nice weather, especially. And because it reminds people, like, oh, right, like, I can't believe how many people I talk to, and they're like, you go for a walk every day? Yeah. And they're like, I haven't walked in like 6 months. I'm like, how do you knock it outside? Not judging them. I'm just like, I just have to, because I like the fresh air and I like to take a break from the diesel. Taking breaks is so good too. Like, that's the other flip side of, yeah, I work hard, but like, also give yourself some time. Like, hey, don't feel bad if you don't want to go on vacation, dude. If it's like, we don't go on vacation like the rest of the world does here in North America, it seems. We got the 2 weeks a year, whatever, 4 weeks a year. And that's the only time we think that we have to go have fun. I'm like, well, that's crappy. But using your creative brain, well, what can I do every day for myself that feels good? So maybe it does mean I go at least walk around the block outside once a day for 5 minutes. Or, maybe you go on a weekend somewhere. Maybe it's not, Hawaii every time you want to go somewhere, but you can still go. Be grateful for what's close by. And, we tend to just take these big holidays every 2 years, but you don't have to wait for the big fancy holiday to enjoy outside, enjoy nature. So I feel like I can help in this way.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let my cat in just 1 second.
Yeah, take it out.
Sorry, that was one of them. Back.
All good. I was, can you hear me? The one author I really like is his book is called The Almanac of Naval Ravikant. He shared something I keep repeating. I shared it everywhere. We spoke about competition and people have felt pressured, and something he said is like, you escape competition through authenticity, right? I mean, no one can beat you at you being you. So your authentic self is your best marketing campaign. So we do a show called Authentic Hustle, by the way, a weekly show. I mean, it's all like real talk and life business and everything in between. But I think being authentic and genuinely being yourself and not trying to have like as many filters as trying to remove as many filters as you can. Sometimes it's difficult. You put filters on purpose, but most of the time it does help not to have filters. So yeah, how do you see authenticity and then the power of connection and power of people playing a role in like not just humanity and overall like life, work, business, and all of that?
What was the question? How
do you see authenticity play a role in life, work, business, and everything beyond in human connection? Because I felt, I could be wrong here, but I felt there is a lack of authenticity leads to wrong expectations, and you're creating a wrong image of yourself that also creates like not the best outcomes for a person, right? So,
yeah. I find people so often say things like, I want to be just like you. Like, we say that, right? I want to be you when I grow up. I want to be, and I'm like, why on earth would you want to be me when you can be you? You were created to be you. You weren't created to be me. And I kind of see what people are saying, but we are afraid. That's it's back to the fear thing. We're afraid. That's what keeps us from being authentic. We're afraid to let people see who we really are. We're afraid to explore what that authentic person really looks like. And so also it's dangerous. Or what's the better word? It's sad and disappointing and unfulfilling when you're being somebody else, when you're not being authentic. And I feel like, well, if I was really who I am, then I'm going to lose my job. I'm going to lose my relationship. I'm going to lose my partner or a friendship, or I'm going to lose money or whatever. But I think that's really small thinking. I think if we are truly authentic and let ourselves be who we really are when we explore, and that doesn't happen overnight. Give ourselves grace to find what our true authenticity that's how you work out life. You work it out. You figure it out. And I guess all our versions of people that we've met and are surrounded by, we're all like a variation of that person. But I tell my son, like, what kind of person do you want to be? You decide. What kind of person do you want to be? What do you value? And you don't have to look like anyone else. Like 15-year-olds they have the hardest time because they want to be unique, but then they want to look like everyone else. You sound like everyone else. They don't want to stand out. And they don't want attention, but they do want attention, but not too much attention. Like it's just this like, oh my gosh.
My son is 13-year-old. I can relate to that too.
The struggle is real.
It is.
But it's a constant reminder. And even as adults, we need constant reminders. Being authentic is okay. It's okay. It's good. You want to be you. You want to laugh how you laugh, joke around how you joke around, live how you live, visit who you visit, watch what you watch, spend your time how you spend your time. You know, life's too short to not explore that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's a speaker, Brene Brown. I'm sure you have came across her. There's a clip that she about vulnerability, maybe kind of like ties into our current conversation. I'll play that clip. Maybe I'll get your feedback right after. Let's see if this plays on.
That vulnerability is courage in you. That vulnerability is courage in you, but weakness in me. When I meet you, it's the first thing I look for in you, but it's the last thing I want to show you in me. And so I think to really put ourselves out there, knowing that if we do that enough, we're going to fail, I just don't think it gets more courageous than that.
I love that. I can't say it any better than that. That's so true. I agree with that.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me get into a different topic of your Mother Nature art that you put out in Edmonton, if I'm right. So what's the story behind that? What's the story behind the Mother Nature mural, if you will?
Okay.
I've tried to see it. I tried to Google it. I haven't seen the picture yet. Like,
okay.
But okay, can you paint? I mean, here's the pun intended. Can you paint the story about Mother Nature, please, Giselle?
Sure, I can. I see what you did there. Yeah, so back in 2017, for a number of years, there's this event called Vignettes in Edmonton. And Vignettes was run by Lou Wright. He's a really amazing guy in Edmonton, always thinking that forward kind of person. He was the producer of this Vignettes show. And if you're signed up as an artist, you were teamed up with a group of other artists, art people, and you were given a room in some random building in Edmonton. Change the entire building. You were given the room and you could do whatever you want with the room. You have like a month to prepare the room and make it to this crazy, basically an art installation experience. So you buy a ticket, you come, there'd be drinks and food, and then you visit each of these rooms that were recreated by these crazy artists.
Right.
It was a really cool experience. I think I did about 4 years of that. And one year we had the old reuse center, downtown Edmonton. And there was this one wall that came up as an opportunity to do a mural. And it was not a flat wall. It had all these bump outs and things. And the city was going to pay the artist $10,000 to put up a mural. And I said, well, what about the wall that's flat that faces Rogers Place? It's the perfect wall for a mural. So when I submitted my thing, I pushed the boundaries and I said, well, this is the wall I want. If I get good money, I'll do this wall. And I got rejected. I was like, oh, dang it. They didn't. Okay, whatever. So I phoned up Lee and I said, listen, I want to put my mural up on this wall that's flat, faces Rogers Place. I like this real estate. It's a brick wall. Can I have that wall? He said, well, I don't have any money for you. I can't pay you. And I'm like, I know the money was given away already, but to someone else, so that some other artist got that other wall. And I said, well, if I can pay for it myself, can I have the wall? And he said, sure. So I chose a painting called Mother Nature, which is a painting that was a client purchased it. And I borrowed it from her and I had a really high resolution photo taken of the painting. And I approached this company, a vehicle wrap company essentially, that does these vinyl wraps. And I said, what's the largest vinyl wrap you've ever done? So this was a brick wall that needed to be done in 2 weeks. My paint on a brick wall would basically just suck right into the wall and it's just not doable. I decided this is why I decided to approach this company. Oh my gosh, my friend. Text your dad. Okay. So we sold our truck. My husband and I sold one of our trucks.
No way.
And I paid $10,000 company to put up this mural on that wall. And they got it done in, within the time frame it needed to be for this big open thing that they were doing, this open house. And yeah, I wanted my painting in the middle of downtown called Mother Nature. I wanted to bring a Giselle painting downtown. It Stacey's Rogers Place. It's like the perfect spot. And yeah, I took my own money and paid for that. So why not?
Yeah, why not?
And the story was they were going to tear that building down within 2 years. Well, it's now 2025 and the building is still there and my mural is still there. So how about that? And I have so many people that tell me I went to that mural. We had family photos there. Our wedding pictures were taken there. We had a big rave there. We did. So it's part of the Instagrammable wall tours of Edmonton now. Yeah, so it's getting weathered and it's starting to look a little, but people, it's advertising that I paid for. I planted a seed.
Got it. No, what a fascinating story. Amazing. I mean, like
That's
you did the right thing. You did the right thing. I mean, like, yeah, glad you did that.
Thank you.
I want to segue into a different section. We call it this AI section. I will admit I've never done this section with an artist like yourself. The AI may not be as good as you. So disclaimer ahead of time.
Okay.
So what we do in this section is like we ask, like, I'll ask you to like, please suggest AI what it wants to draw for you. And it'll try and come up with its best version of the art. And we'll have a question around it. That's it.
Okay.
So let's try.
Sure.
All right. Okay. Let me know if you see my screen, okay?
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. Okay. So you can tell me what you want the AI to draw for us.
Or you want me to tell?
Yeah. It'll be your choice.
Okay.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot, but like it's guest request. So.
Draw me a field of flowers with a piano in the middle of it.
Right. So I'm super I mean, I am with you super impressed with AI to see what it draws, but I've never done this with an artist like yourself. So
well, it's a pretty fun
let's
exercise.
See what happens. All right.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah, it came up with a few. So there you go. That's a piano.
Oh, cool.
Right in the field. Nice.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah.
So I think the reason I said it is because I am a singer-songwriter artist. So I like to marry the two. Sometimes the title of a painting becomes a song. And so this is my thought of like combining the two art forms into one. It's cool. I like that.
So the question that comes to my mind is like, what's a link between music and your painting?
I guess
that's a question.
Yeah. So like I love words. And so as much as I love to paint a painting, I love to give it a name, but I like for it to sound poetic. And I was thinking about hosting you've heard of artist talks. So you go to the gallery and you sit and the artist talks about their art. So I was thinking I kind of do that already. I don't give a formal talk, but people come here and I talk about the art. So because I'm a singer-songwriter as well, I was thinking, oh, it'd be so cool to host an artist music talk. So I would have people come. I would say, this is the song, and this song is called this, and it goes with this painting, and this is why. This is the story for the painting, and this is the story of the song, and how they go together. Yeah, because they're so intertwined, right? With an artist, they don't usually have one medium. They have many mediums. If you're creative, you do many things that are creative. You don't just do one. Like I'm not just a painter. I play music. I like to speak. I like to, write songs. And so like like to play the piano. I like to write the songs. I like to paint. I'll take a break and I'll go play for a while. And it's all intertwined and
What
interwoven.
inspires what the most? Like, does like music inspire art, or art inspires music? Like, how does that come together?
Yeah, I think they both inspire each
Each
other.
other.
I don't know, just the need to create. And sometimes it's like, I'm not feeling it today for painting. I'm just going to sit down at the keyboard and write something. And then as I'm playing my songs, I'm looking out and I'm singing to the trees and I see it different. And then I'll go do some painting and I just kind of flow in and out of the two together. They're very much intertwined.
Got it. Got it. We have three sections. One is I have 3 questions, and then there's like I'll talk about it in just a bit, and there's a rapid fire. And then if you are willing, I'll be happy to see through your studio and we'll wrap. I don't know if you're recording on a mobile device or a laptop today.
Yeah, it's on my phone.
Yeah, allow it to upload it. If after we finish our conversation, let it upload it. It might take, depending on your Wi-Fi, it's quicker. Sometimes it takes 10-15 minutes longer to upload because it records high quality in your computer and then uploads it.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. So, few questions like what's like a daily ritual for Giselle, like that grounds you, no matter where you're in the world. Like it could be in BC or it could be in Mexico. What's your daily ritual that like you need to have it? Like maybe a coffee, maybe a walk, whatever.
Well, I would say walking.
Okay.
Walking helps me for sure. I do that every day. Like I was thinking, well, I'll have coffee or that's fine. But going for walks, yeah, it's important to me. And
Got
I
it.
do yoga. I do yoga every day too. So, but if I can't get yoga in or can't, like I do one of those. I like to move. Yeah.
Got it. What does it do to your mind, actually? I mean, I've practiced yoga. I've tried to learn it. I learned yoga in Edmonton, no kidding.
Yeah.
I lived in Edmonton for work, and there was a trainer. Like it was free. Come learn. Like come learn for free. And like we went for classes for like 2 months, and like at least I know some basic yoga that I learned from Edmonton. I never approached it when I was in India. Never. I never got an opportunity to learn it.
Yeah.
But what does that do to your thinking and your mind? Like, does it clear your mind? And how do you see yoga approaching your thinking process?
Most
Does it help?
days it gives my mind a rest. It gives it a rest. If you're always putting pressure, constant, which is what we typically do, it's not good for our brain. So yoga and walking, it gives my mind a rest. And rests are good. A break is good. Disconnecting is good. So it's a forced break, a forced rest. And then do I always feel like walking? No, I don't always feel like it. Do I always feel like painting? No.
Right.
But when I do it, it's a forced rest and it's great.
Got it. So this one is a hypothetical question. So let's say Giselle is having dinner with your younger self, right? Let's say you're meeting your younger self. Probably you're like 18 years, 20 years. Choose your age. But you're having a dinner with your younger self. Like, what would you tell her that you're willing to tell on the show, of course?
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Trust yourself.
Trust your gut.
Yeah.
Right. What's something, Giselle, like that you have like unlearned recently that has changed how you see the world entirely? Unlearned.
Something I've unlearned or something I've learned?
Unlearned. What's something you've unlearned, like in recent times, last 5 or 10 years, that has completely changed how you see the world?
I don't know. I guess I would probably be repeating myself. Don't take yourself so seriously. Like I know that's not a good answer. I still go back to like not worrying what people think and fearing less. Fearing less.
Got it.
It's so good. It's like the foundation for everything. And so I relearned, I unlearned fear, I guess.
What was it like 10 years ago, 20 years ago? How long ago was it?
I don't know, maybe the last like 8 years.
Right. Social media does that to you, doesn't it?
I suppose. Yeah. And also like raising a teenage boy.
Of course.
One child raising a teenage boy.
Of course.
Like you also kind of relive your teens with him because you're watching him, and also just letting go of like letting go of control. I try and do that on a daily basis because I've told my son, when you're disciplining them, oh my gosh, I told him, it's not when you're disciplining your child, when you're telling him, like, this is what you could be doing. I said, I saw my desire to control you. I want you to control yourself. I want you to do that. That's your job. And then just trusting yourself to make a decision for all of the things. Like, I'm thinking heavily for parenting right now. But it's different when they're babies. It's different when they're in preschool. It's different when they're in elementary, and it's different when they're but as I'm parenting, I'm learning things about myself as well. I'm learning things about him. I'm learning things about me, and I'm learning how I'm perceived by him, and I want him to know that I'm on his team, and
Right.
I want the best for him, and also I have to let him make decisions, even if they're not the best ones. And eventually you have to go, I have to just trust. I'm going to trust myself. I'm like, you're going to trust yourself. Yeah.
Got it. Another 10 minutes, we are about to wrap. Here's a bunch of quick rapid fire questions. You can give like a one word or a short phrase, and then we tour your studio, then we are wrapping. That's
Okay.
how the next 10, 12 minutes is going to be. So rapid fire questions. So if you have to pick, brush or the palette knife?
Palette knife.
Okay. The color you can't live with?
Yellow.
Biggest creative risk you've ever taken? Maybe
I'm going for it, being an artist. Deciding I'm going to do art for full time.
Got it. The last thing that made you laugh while painting?
When my cat jumped up onto my palette and got paint all over his paws.
One word that describes your art?
One word, free.
Free? Freedom?
Yeah, free.
Okay. Got it. No, free is different from freedom. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Is there a song that gets you in the zone?
Anything that makes me want to dance.
Right.
Any song that has a good groove. If it's slow and boring, that doesn't get me going. If something has a good groove.
Got it. What's the most inspiring place you've ever painted?
I was invited by a friend having possible to paint on his wild food show called From the Wild, and I got to go out into the bush for 6 days with him and his team, and in the middle of nowhere, and I got to paint out in the trees in the middle of nowhere. It was the best.
Who's a dream person you'd love to paint live for? If you had to do a live show, is there a dream person you would paint for?
Don't know. Oh, that's a good question. I've never been asked that before. You got me. Oh, dream person I've never painted for live. I'm sorry, I don't know. There's probably so many. I can't think of one particular.
I don't have a million answers, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I mean, how do you want to leave your legacy? What are the 2 or 3 words you want to, the moment when you say legacy, what comes to your mind?
She loved.
Got it. Giselle, where can people find you? Is it on LinkedIn or Facebook or?
All of the ways.
Right, everywhere.
LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of those places you can find me. Yeah, pretty easy to find. YouTube. Yeah, people, it's pretty easy to find me. I'd love to be accessible.
Awesome. Giselle, it was a pleasure talking to you for so long. It was an absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing your journey. I mean, like what you went through your career, through your passion. Thanks for the authentic version of yourself, sharing that with us and trusting us. I'm sure more people will be inspired and probably pursue painting. I don't know, or probably pursue authenticity. I don't know. But I think it was a fascinating conversation. I thoroughly enjoyed it, loved it. Thank you for spending the time with me. I'm grateful. Thank you so much. We'd love to take a tour of your studio if you're showing your art, and I'm sure we'll put that, and more people would love to watch it and probably visit.
Sure. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to?
How that works for you? I don't know. But you want to do it? Like, let's do it. Like, let's.
I don't know how to flip the camera
does it move your camera or your laptop?
Yeah, I can. Just need it's gonna be a second here. Just gonna cut. So how do I flip the camera? Let's see. I don't know how you flip the camera.
It's a virtual tour of your.
I know. I'm touching a thing to see if I can. but nothing comes up to flip the camera around.
Yeah, it's okay. I can still.
If I just do this, but do you see?
Yeah, why is it inverted? I see it inverted though.
If I flip it like that, is that better?
It's still. You might want to. Yeah. Now it's perfect. Now it's perfect.
Oh, it's perfect now. Okay. So I can't see what I'm showing you because I'm on the other side of the camera, but.
Sure.
So this is the painting table, and if I spin around,
where the magic happens. Okay.
This is the easel and my painting cart, and then my piano.
There you go.
And I've got a couch area here for people to sit for my big open houses.
Lovely.
It might glitch because I'm in the country Wi-Fi, but yeah. So this is an 1,800 square foot space. I've performed music in here, and I've posted all kinds of events, but my open houses are in here. And we did an expansion from the house, so I'll actually take you to the entrance down the hall. So this is coming in, this is the front door, and then that's the house side there. So you can see out the window. There's the house. We have all this, a big apple tree, and there's my cat. There's the other cat. But we have 3 acres here. I can open the door too. So I get inspired by this outside here. Hi, Ellie.
It is beautiful.
Isn't it nice?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so I feel very
I have to visit now. I'd
be happy to have you. Because are you based in Calgary? Is that what you said? Or are you based
I'm based in Wetaskiwin, like 40 minutes away from Edmonton.
Okay.
But I was in Edmonton downtown yesterday, so I'm on and off to Edmonton. So
for sure.
I can't live without Edmonton. So we have to keep coming and going. So yeah. No, thank you for the tour. Giselle, absolutely enjoyed the conversation. Hope to, it should be out soon, the next 6 weeks or so. But yeah, thank you so much for the chat.
I think I'll try and post this on my my alarm's going. I think I'll try and post this on my YouTube channel. I think I opened up the app where I can record it there. Thanks so much for having me, Vijay. Appreciate it. I enjoyed our conversation very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Bye now. Take care.
Okay.
Bye,
take care. Bye.